Have you ever stopped to reflect on the secrets that permeate biblical mysteries? In the revealed mystery, why did Satan seek Moses' body? We are invited to unravel one of the most intriguing battles between good and evil, where Moses' body, shrouded in a secret burial, becomes the stage for an intense spiritual conflict. Every detail of this narrative echoes God's authority and the teachings of the Ten Commandments, revealing a divine plan that transcends time and human understanding. By exploring the intervention of the Archangel Michael and Satan's cunning schemes, we are challenged to renew our faith and obedience, seeking the true redemption that the Promised Land offers. This journey, steeped in biblical mystery, promises a spiritual awakening that questions idolatry and desecration in our modern age. In a world where the forces that divide good and evil manifest in surprising ways, this narrative invites us to dive deep into a story that goes beyond the traditional account. The references to the Transfiguration and the resurrection point to a new perspective on life, where every obstacle transforms into an opportunity to reaffirm divine sovereignty and our connection to God's plan. It is a call for each of us to face modern dilemmas with courage, turning challenges into moments of spiritual growth and learning. By unveiling the reasons why Satan sought Moses' body, we are inspired to reflect on our own journey, questioning how faith can overcome idolatry and desecration. Thus, the introduction becomes an irresistible invitation to discover secrets that can transform the way we view life and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Moses, a singular figure destined for greatness, was born under divine protection, revealing God's plan from an early age. From his miraculous survival, he demonstrated unwavering faith and obedience that would shape an extraordinary destiny. His journey, steeped in biblical mystery, reflects divine sovereignty amid the battle between good and evil. By leading the Israelites out of Egypt, he showcased God's authority, reaffirming the promised redemption. The path toward the Promised Land became a legacy of hope and transformation. Leading with courage and sensitivity, Moses guided his people with conviction and inspiration. The revelation of the Ten Commandments underscored the importance of faith, obedience, and commitment to the divine. Moments of transfiguration along his journey reinforced the connection between the human and the sacred. Every step he took resonated with biblical mystery, propelling a profound experience of redemption. Thus, Moses' unique destiny remains an eternal example of leadership and faith, influencing generations. Moses concluded his journey at the age of 120, yet his strength and faith remained as intense as they were at the beginning of his mission. Despite his physical death, the biblical mystery surrounding his secret burial continues to spark the imagination and devotion of the faithful. Every detail of this enigma reflects God's plan and divine sovereignty, demonstrating that not even time can erase his legacy. The location where Moses' body rests remains hidden, intensifying the battle between good and evil in every thought. This uncertainty about his eternal rest invites everyone to reflect on the true essence of redemption and God's authority. Even in death, Moses' legacy remains a beacon of faith and obedience, illuminating the path for those who seek the Promised Land. His secret burial serves as a symbol of a spiritual strength that transcends the physical, evidencing the eternal spiritual struggle. The narrative of this mystery teaches us that sometimes silence reveals more than words, encouraging a sincere search for truth. It is an invitation to live by the teachings of the Ten Commandments and to recognize the importance of the battle between good and evil. In every aspect, this story urges us to honor the divine legacy, strengthening our faith and journey toward redemption. According to the Epistle of Jude, Moses' body became the epicenter of an intense spiritual dispute between the Archangel Michael and Satan, underscoring the biblical mystery that surrounds his existence. Every mention of this episode resonates with God's authority and reinforces that his plan is immutable, even as good and evil wage their relentless battle. This narrative reveals how Satan, driven by intentions of idolatry and desecration, attempts to subvert the faith of the chosen and divert obedience from the Ten Commandments. The intervention of the Archangel Michael demonstrates that divine sovereignty prevails, lighting the way to redemption and true obedience. Thus, Satan's interest in Moses' body transforms into a symbol of the eternal spiritual struggle, provoking deep reflection on faith and God's authority. It is intriguing to consider that this spiritual dispute can also serve as a mirror for our daily challenges, where faith must overcome temptation and idolatry. By delving into the scriptures, we learn how to avoid desecrating sacred values and strengthen our connection with the divine. I recommend reading works that explore the transfiguration of Moses' teachings, thereby facilitating the practice of divine precepts in everyday life. The story of this episode inspires us to keep alive the flame of obedience and hope, even amid the battle between good and evil. In this way, the dispute over Moses' body teaches us that spiritual victory is achieved when we embrace faith and honor the mystery of God's plan. Satan, driven by the intent to desecrate, sought to dishonor Moses' legacy by tarnishing the purity of his body. In his attempt to turn this sacred symbol into an object of worship, he aimed to divert the faithful from true worship of God. The imposition of idolatry represented a grave affront against divine authority and the teachings of the Ten Commandments. This misguided practice illustrated how rebellion against God's plan manifests in the desecration of sacred values. With every act of disrespect, the spiritual struggle intensifies, showing that faith and obedience are essential to resist the battle between good and evil. Transforming Moses' body into an icon of idolatry reveals the danger of straying from true redemption and divine sovereignty. The spiritual battle renews itself, as every attempt to desecrate Moses' legacy becomes an invitation to resist and reaffirm our faith. Practical examples, such as cherishing sacred teachings and inspiring works, help reinforce our commitment to divine precepts. Recognizing these reasons, we come to understand how idolatry and desecration are intertwined in the struggle that challenges God's authority. Thus, this analysis motivates us to seek true redemption by honoring biblical mystery and God's plan. Divine sovereignty is powerfully demonstrated when the archangel Michael rebukes Satan, reaffirming God's authority with unwavering firmness. In this confrontation, Moses' body shrouded in biblical mystery and the secrecy of its burial gains significance in the battle between good and evil. The faith and obedience of the believers are strengthened in the face of God's plan, which nullifies any attempt at idolatry or desecration. Every spoken word underscores the importance of the Ten Commandments and guides the steps toward the Promised Land. Thus, the celestial intervention shows that the spiritual dispute is ultimately subject to divine sovereignty and the promised redemption. In this light, Moses' story reminds us that the transfiguration and the resurrection are signs of God's supreme authority. The example of the archangel Michael reinforces that even when Satan tries to derail divine purposes, God's plan prevails. This message invites us to reject idolatry and desecration, upholding faith and obedience as the cornerstones of our spiritual battle. Every teaching related to biblical mystery strengthens our journey, guiding us in the pursuit of redemption and the Promised Land. In doing so, we come to see that God's sovereignty is the beacon that lights the way for those who stand firm in the Ten Commandments and divine authority. Moses consistently demonstrated leadership rooted in faith and obedience, guiding the Israelites with a humility that inspired everyone around him. His legacy, rich in biblical mystery, evidences God's authority and the ceaseless battle between good and evil in every decision he made. By leading his people toward the Promised Land, he taught the values of the Ten Commandments and the importance of true redemption. His presence at the Transfiguration, alongside Jesus, reinforces both the resurrection and divine sovereignty amid spiritual struggle. Every facet of his journey reveals a profound divine plan that connects generations through faith and obedience. The impact of his legacy transcends time, reminding us that even in the face of Satan's temptations and the challenges of idolatry, faith remains steadfast. Moses' lessons in humility and fidelity serve as a practical guide for those who seek to live according to divine teachings and avoid desecrating sacred values. Studying his journey, including the mystery of his body and secret burial, encourages us to reflect on the true essence of redemption. Amid the ongoing battle between good and evil, His story inspires concrete actions, such as engaging with sacred texts and practicing the Ten Commandments daily. Thus, Moses' legacy invites us to embrace God's authority and to tread a path of faith, obedience, and transformation, always aligned with his plan. As we journey through these discoveries, we are invited to reflect on the battles between good and evil that have marked Moses' history. Have you ever considered how the teachings revealed by Moses' body and the intervention of the Archangel Michael could transform your own path? The tension between faith and idolatry, between desecration and true obedience, challenges us to live by the Ten Commandments. Every element from the secret burial to the transfiguration highlights the biblical mystery and divine sovereignty in God's plan. So, do you feel prepared to confront your spiritual dilemmas and seek redemption amid the spiritual struggle? Let Moses' legacy inspire your journey, renewing the faith and obedience that drive victory over Satan and his schemes. Reflect on how each battle between good and evil can be transformed into an opportunity to reaffirm God's authority in your life. Why not delve into readings that explore resurrection, divine sovereignty, and the secrets of God's plan to rejuvenate your spirit? I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you never miss another piece of inspiring and revelatory content. May the light of true biblical mystery illuminate your path toward redemption and the conquest of the Promised Land.